You didn't add fuel to the fire, chosen ones, empaths, and genuine souls. That relationship of whatever type it was, with friend, family member, romantic partner, associate, whoever, you didn't add fuel to the flames. They were destroying the relationship, okay? And the thing is they needed a significant amount of noise. And I don't want you to misinterpret your attempts to reconcile or your attempts to sort things out like adults, as because that's often how it's perceived. You regret reaching out, you regret trying to do those things, but that was you thinking with your heart. Okay, you were thinking with your heart in those moments when you tried to reconcile, you tried to fix things. You were thinking with your heart. You saw the best in that person still. Okay? And I know many of you might not have actually tried to sort things out, but you didn't add fuel to the fire nonetheless. What I'm saying is I just wanted to bring that to your attention. You trying to sort things out isn't adding fuel to the fire. Alright? They wanted significant noise, like I said, drama, chaos. They were trying to bait you into a reaction. They were abusing you, bullying you, gaslighting you, giving you silent treatment. They were doing all some myriad of things to you to try and bring the worst out in you. Alright? And the amount of times I've heard from people about how they've had suicidal ideations and things like that when I've spoken to people in sessions. Okay. Many people. And that's why I'm saying to you, after you reach that place of you choose silence, like your heart tells you now, your heart's not in it no more. Because that's basically the point when you pull the plug, right? You've had enough. Okay, even in the relationship, you might have had a discussion, you said you had enough, you walked away, you chose silence, right? Or you were discarded or ghosted or abandoned, and then you tried to fix it and then you pulled away. What I'm saying is, it's a change of heart. You have a change of heart in that moment, you see. Do you see what I'm getting at? The mind confuses you a lot of the times in these situationships, and that's what the narcissist was hoping, that you're gonna fall into reactive abuse. They're gonna bait some kind of, they're gonna draw you out, they're gonna mess you up, right? And I know they do a lot of damage, but I want you to understand that whatever you think you did, it wasn't enough for what they were anticipating for their plan, you see. And like, they were just reflecting your light, okay? They were just someone that was reflecting your light back at you until the point that you saw through them. And without you around with that light, they feel a crushing blow, And that's why when they were analyzing it, that like you waking up, you seeing through things, you figuring it out. Because oftentimes, even those of you that were trying to piece it back together, a lot of the times you were saying valid points, you had valid arguments, you were saying valid things, but they blame shift, they gaslight and all that. They were seeing you slipping out of their hands. And that's why a lot of them, many of them, I've heard it from so many people, right? They've tried to bait you into reaction, okay? They want drama, they want chaos. Don't give it to them, all right? Don't give it to them. And this is what I'm saying. Some of you are in that phase now where you're in that silent period, okay? And your mind might be telling you, because I read a comment today, someone said they were in no contact for like 4 months, and then I haven't replied to the second comment. I gave them some advice on the first one. I haven't replied to the second one, and then they reached out to the narcissist, and I said, don't blame yourself, don't be hard on yourself, like, you know. And they mentioned some things about blocking, like they thought they were blocked, and then they thought the narcissist unblocked them. Then they found out. I just read this a moment ago, so if they watch this video, shout out to you. But then they figured out that the narcissist still had them blocked or something, because it was an update on the iPhone or something like this. I'm not that well versed on the technology things, right? This is what they said. But what I'm trying to say to you is that person right there, what you can learn from their experience is their decision to go no contact is when they've had a heartfelt moment, right? Like, enough is enough. You're not gonna give no more to them. You see, it's a heartfelt moment, but the mind can tell you to do all sorts of things, like, oh, reach out to them, do this, do that, because you've got a lot of trauma. And really, I mentioned this in another video, the heart sends messages to the mind. Okay, the heart sends messages to the mind so you can think with your heart. And empaths, you all do think with your heart. It's the reason why, and chosen ones and genuine souls, it's the reason why you are entrapped in these situationships, because a lot of you naturally think with your heart anyway. Okay, and during those times of when you thought the relationship was over and things like that, many of you have tried to fix it time and time again when it's falling apart and things like that. That's because you believed in that person and you had a heartfelt moment, and that's what your heart. So trust your heart, because that wasn't digging you in a deeper mess. All right, eventually you had an intuition or something like that kick in, and you were like, you realized that going down that route is not right, and that's what you needed to happen. Okay, but the mind confuses you. You've been through so much abuse and trauma and things like that. The mind can confuse you from situations. So try to overcome these things and think with your heart. All right, don't you have chosen silence. All right, don't think you've made a mistake. The mind will tell you you're making a mistake. The mind will make it hard for you in no contact. The mind will give you anxiety. The mind will wonder what they're doing. Like, when you think with your heart, you realize that's not nice what they done. Simple things, right? Narcissist or not, alright? The way they treated you is not nice. And you've chosen with a heartfelt moment to go into no contact, to go silent, to go away. Do not go back on that step, alright? Spoken to people that have gone back on that step and they regret it. I tell them to trust the process, but still they're annoyed. All right, and that person that reached out to the narcissist was extremely annoyed as well that they'd done that. They were fortunate that the message didn't get through anyway, but they was annoyed. From what I gauged from the comment, they was a bit annoyed about it, you see. So all I'm saying to you is trust this heartfelt moment you have. I hope you understand what I mean. It takes a lot of sometimes with these heartfelt moments, you might get sensation, like you could get a shiver, right? Because it's an emotionally tied moment. It triggers something in the system to give you a shiver. You could have a feeling actually in your chest, sort of like an anxiety. You can have all these things when the intuition's kicking in and the heartfelt moment. All right, and you see, this is what they tapped into. and they confused your heart and your mind, you see. But you have to go through the process because God or the universe had a greater plan for you till this precise point when it ends. You have to tolerate that. That's something that you have to come to terms with. It's not wasted time. You have to extract that meaning from this relationship. It's not wasted time. If you tell yourself it's wasted time, it's your mind telling you it's wasted time. In your heart, you know that you gave your best. You had something of what you appreciated in whatever type of relationship it is. You valued it. It could even be a job. You valued it. You tried your best, and I believe that you'll be rewarded in this world and the next world. Because I've spoken to a lot of people that have seen their blessings come, and it's not wasted, right? I've seen blessings come in my life, right? You're exactly the same, right? You're someone that put their heart and soul, and I'm not saying you're perfect, but you dedicated yourself towards a cause or towards towards a job or towards something, and there was toxic people there, narcissists, whoever involved in these relationships that you're involved in. All right. And what I'm saying is, you going on this journey for however long you maintain the silence, right? Even if you're like that person and you reach out again, what you got to understand is you're not feeding the fuel to them. You're not giving them what they wanted. So what you got to understand is, even if you go with one of these thoughts that you have in your head, like, oh, let me meet them, let me do this or whatever, it's not naturally what they want. They've got an agenda for you, and a lot of them were deliberately winding you up. They were deliberately antagonizing you. They're deliberately trying to bring the worst out in you. They're trying to grind you down, make you depressed, and in some cases even give you suicidal ideations and things like that, which I touched on briefly earlier, right? And that's a lot what the mind can do, right? Remember, I don't know, I'm just from an analogy perspective here, your mind is like a sponge and it absorbs a lot of the trauma through life, the empath, like, because you feel others' emotions and you're so in tune with people, right? And you're even in tune with these narcissists beyond what they're actually presenting, and that is something that causes narcissistic injuries and actually makes them so bitter and twisted to hurt you in such ways, because when you was around them, you was hitting them straight to the core with your realness. All right, a lot of the times you were so in tune with it. Okay, they're not in tune with their heart. You're in tune with your heart, so you were doing things, but you were tapping into stuff beyond your comprehension. You were tapping into things like about them. Okay, and you might not have been able to put your finger on it at the time, what was actually happening. Remember, this is a learning progress, right? Mastering intuition, mastering gut feelings, mastering intuition, mastering the knowing, mastering these heartfelt moments is something that is crucial for life, and is you practice more and more as you go through life. See, a lot of these romantic relationships you're involved in may have been sourced from the mind, you see, just a thought. Also, manipulation of, could have been like a lustful thing, or it could have been a heartfelt moment where you felt sorry for them, and this is what they tap into. All right, they try to like hack your mind, right? You see, try to hack your mind, these narcissists. So you got a lot of detoxing to do when you come out of these things, and it can be with you for a long time, a lot of the trauma and a lot of these things. But if you start thinking with your heart from now on, all right, don't analyze it with your mind, just you feel it in your heart. You know there's a separation, okay? Some of us psychologists and things like this talk about a split in the psyche, a split in the, so try to think about this. But what I'm saying is, you really need to understand that this narcissist wanted chaos for you. They wanted chaos for you, chosen ones. Empaths and genuine souls. They wanted real chaos for you. You need to understand that. So I know this video is a bit off topic, but I just want to bring this to your mind. Okay, I want to try and help you see that a lot of discomfort that you may have during these periods of silence is actually very necessary, all right, for you to come to the realization that you don't need to be present in those uncomfortable moments in your mind with, rumination, over analyzing things with that, with to do with the narcissist going through these things. A lot of it yearning for the narcissist. I know you've chosen silence, but many of you have chosen silence, still yearn for the narcissist. And really, you don't need to be in that place. You just don't. Your heart knows. Talking to your heart, your soul, the core of you. The core of you. Alright? The brain's an organ, is actually finite. The mind's finite. The mind, people talk about brain damage and things like that, right? Someone has an accident and things like that, and they have brain damage and things, or boxers and things get brain damage. But just like the trauma you go through with the narcissist, it's a different type of damage. You can heal it. You can heal this damage in your brain by connecting with your heart. And some of you do that by connecting with God through your heart, or the universe, or having principles and morals and decency and keeping that at the core of you. All right? So, I'm telling you, right? They wanted a lot of noise. They wanted a lot of drama. And you need to one day, like maybe right now, some of you might already be there. If you're there, you'll be so happy that you made that decision to like no longer engage with them, and you just go silent. However it come about, you reached out to them, you didn't reach out to them, you just cut them off, or you were discarded or ghosted and it happened to be that way, or however it happened, you'll be so happy that you stopped pursuing, you didn't reach out, because they left avenues open for you to approach, right? And I'm not trying to suggest you go down those avenues like they're gonna, give you what you desire. Don't, don't go down those avenues. You really don't need to. Right? It's unnecessary. It's really unnecessary. All I'm saying is the silence that you've done has prevented a lot of noise, And look, up until this point, if you can understand what I'm trying to get at in this video, up until this point, you've analyzed everything in your mind. Okay, you've gone over things in your mind with the narcissist, but don't let it get the better of you. Don't let this hurt get the better of you. When I say the heartfelt moment, I hope you understand what I'm getting at. Like, that's wrong to be treated that way. That's wrong in your heart, from the eyes, from the sight of God, from the universe. It's wrong to be treated that way by an individual, and you have the heartfelt moment to change and pull away. I'm telling you, it's like the biggest blessing, because what they had planned for you was, not nice. What these narcissists had planned for you. That's what a lot of you, some of you, not all of you, some of you fail to realize, like, when a narcissist is doing silence, that's like one of the biggest antagonists, if that's the right word. A narcissist doing silence to you is like one of the biggest antagonists to bring and emerge stuff out of you, which will fuel them, Even if the relationship's in a burning blaze, like, it will still add fuel to that fire for them. It'll be euphoric. They'll love it. So, because many of you, I see it in the comments, I know not everyone comments, but Many of you think when a narcissist is silent or a narcissist has gone on with their life, new supply, whatever, right? You're thinking that you're forgotten, right? And really, they're using this strategy different from your strategy. Your strategy is like sincerity, you're unplugging. They're strategically going silent to bring out the worst in you and use it as an antagonist, right? To antagonize you. That's why they go silent, right? They do that, and it's so like clear, it's obvious, and they want you to go through loops in your mind thinking you're not good enough. Oh, this person's better. This, that, the other, and it's like if you've got it in you. If you use your heart, you can see through the veil, right? And I've brung out a new series, The Veil Lifted, and you can see that the video come out before this one if you want to check that out. But this is a gift in you. You have a gift in you. You have the intuition, and it's in you because your mind can tell you when you look at they're living their best life. I see that in the comment section all the time. People say, "Oh, I seen them with the new supply. They've been with the new supply so many years, and they look wonderful and happy." And it's like, they're not. They're anticipating your move. They're antagonizing you. That's a form of silence. Even if you have children and you're still seeing them in your life, whatever, and you have some kind of access to them, whatever, like that, where you're seeing them. You gotta understand they're always trying to antagonize you, right? You can't believe that stuff that they try to portray, all right? And really, your intuition is there. The intuition gets lost. You had. I can count on it now. I reckon at least 99% of you had a gut feeling or an intuition that you can now pinpoint about these individuals at a precise time, and you didn't listen to it. It's not your fault you didn't listen to it. It's because you had not yet mastered um, the concept of what that was. You see, you hadn't mastered the intuition, the heartfelt moment. You hadn't noticed that you had that gift to have that. Okay, now you do. So there's no reason that you need to be in hurt. Like I said, you've all been treated badly. You didn't deserve it, but none of you should be making the situation worse for yourself by grieving over these parasites. All right, none of you should be doing that. If you know they had I don't even want to go to the extent of what narcissists want for you, right? What they've got in their minds. They're very vengeful, right? During these periods of time, and there's no time for you to be feeling fondness. I'm being real with you. Like, if you might need to save this in your playlist, there's no time for you to be feeling fondness, right? Warmth, missing them, nothing like that. Especially if you've had this heartfelt moment, because you're being guided, I believe, by God or the universe. You're a chosen one, you're anointed soul, you're an empath, right? You've gone in this direction, you've had this heartfelt moment. Trust this process, all right? And don't give in to that, distraction of the mind, where they've conditioned you, all right? They have some wicked, nasty intentions for you, to get revenge, to do things, to antagonize you, to make you jealous, to do these things. And this is what I mean. That's what's going on in their head in the silence. All right. That's what's going on in their head in the silence. It's not they they want you to think they're happy. They want you to think they're doing well. But you go in your own direction, right? You defeat the game. All right, you've already done it. Okay, you've already done it. You've gone silent. That is the biggest step. I know you hear it everywhere, but I've tried to go into it in a bit more detail in this video. I hope you're with me, because I feel like if I just come out here and say, those that will understand what I'm saying. But if I just come out and say, go no contact with the narcissist, like it might not sink in, you know. I just don't want any of you yearning or in a place like that. And if you are in a place like that, in no contact right now, and you are yearning for them or you are missing them, understand, separate the heart and the mind. All right, and that's a work in progress. Practice that for a day, practice that for 2 days, practice that for a week. Try and reinforce it, separating the heart from the mind, and you'll notice that you'll become more attuned with like how your gut feels, how your heart feels. You might get, I don't want to say butterflies, but you might get sensations in your heart, in your chest, or you might get you have other indications that of the right choice that you're making. And I'm telling you, the choice that you're making to have, which you had to make this decision in going in your own direction, is because that is your heart, God, telling you, what that's the pure part of you. Like, you don't deserve this. All right, so don't put yourself in no grievance, in misery and pain and discomfort and stuff like that, because your mind's going through spirals. Remember, you've got to like trust the process with your mind. Okay, you won't, these thoughts won't remain. You won't be in this place further down the line if you go with your, if you think with your heart, right? If you think of your heart, like, you're not going to stay in the same process. And I often touch upon trusting the process and stuff like that, but I needed to give you a bit more today. I felt like it just come to me, just come to me. So if this can help someone out there, I'll be really grateful. Like, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. It might be one to save your playlist if you're in a really bad place at the moment. I should have said this earlier, but like, you might need to come back to it. Just remember, there's no time to be grieving these parasites, right? They want noise, they want drama. Do not give it to them. Don't give in. You start getting thoughts telling you to reach out to them. Like, just realize that's the conditioning. That's, you see, sometimes even the mind will do what it's accustomed to, right? Like, it will, you know, it will go through loops, because it's trying to heal. Your mind's trying to heal as well. That's something I should have said earlier as well. Your mind's trying to heal and cope with the trauma. It's been tricked and deceived. I've touched on this before, but the mind's been tricked and deceived by the narcissist. Okay, and your heart was tricked and deceived, but eventually your heart felt that this person was wrong. You had an intuition, you had a gut feeling, you figured them out, right? A lot of you figured them out about cheating. Like, you had an intuition, you had an epiphany, you had a realization. That's divine. All right, those things are divine, and it's about mastering this. All right, you know, I'm not saying I've mastered it. I'm just saying there's something in this. All right, there's something in this, and I don't want any of you, like, what I meant by I haven't mastered it. I meant it's a work in progress, and you can learn more every day about your gut feelings. Because, like I said, all of you, I guarantee, well, not all, 99% of you would have had a gut feeling, an intuition, a heartfelt moment, a time when you thought with your heart, you would have had one of these moments at least once. I guarantee it. That's what I was close to saying. 100% of you. I reckon at least you had one of these. Could have been at the beginning, could have been toward the end, could have been in the middle. It would have been different from the time that the relationship ended with whatever type of narcissist is in your life. That was in your life. Okay? And that's what you need to get to grips of. So, to sum it up, yeah. They wanted you for a game, you know. They needed a lot of noise. They needed a lot of drama, okay? But you've been through an awful lot. You've been through an awful lot, and I don't want you grieving over them unnecessarily. I want you to trust this silence that you've made is the right decision. I don't want you getting further down the road and thinking that you've made the wrong decision. Things like that, okay? This is an intuition kicking in you. This is something, you know, that you should start to differentiate from your own thoughts. Your mind is healing. I always talk about trusting the process, and your mind will heal. Whether you listen to this advice or you don't use it or not, your mind's still gonna heal, right? You will still go on, but what I would say is you're gonna have unnecessary attachments and unnecessary emotions and things towards these narcissists that are sourced from the mind, you know, and that's what they're trying to tap into through these periods of silence, through these periods of time when they're trying to do shadow play and control you like a puppet. You know, they're trying to be the master manipulator, right? From the darkness, right? From, you know, through this. Even if you're the one that cut them off, they think, right, you're not going to be able to maintain it. You know what I'm saying? That's what they think, right, at first. So let them go on with their journey. Let them feel the consequences of your loss. That will happen, all right? You know, I've got a playlist, You Will Not Be Replaced. I made it a very long time ago, but there's a playlist there, you know, You Will Not Be Replaced. And, you know, just understand why you chose silence. It's the right choice. Trust your intuition, trust your gut, and master your intuition. You know, try to tell myself to master my intuition. It's got to be done, right? This is where discernment source from. It's all from the heart and everything, right? So anyway, thanks for listening today. I really appreciate the support. Please book a session if you'd like to. You may donate or support to the channel if you want to. Check out the spiritual channel for more content. My podcast is now on Spotify. All links you need are in the description box below. If you would like access to over 100 exclusive videos, daily uploads and custom video requests, join my membership program at ZionMembership.com. Links also in the description box below. There's a 3-day free trial and you can cancel at any time. All content is made by me with no ties to any organisation or university. Your support truly keeps us going. I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.